we interrupt my normal program of talking about religion, politics, dusty, crusty men, and Superman because it is Cowboy Carter week. Only reason why I'm wearing red, white, and blue, okay? Because I'm not gonna lie, right now is not the time where I'd be wanting to sport these colors, you know what I mean? Now, I'm trying not to freak out because I had to change my outfit last minute. I was supposed to see Cowboy Carter in Houston, but plans change. It's okay. So I'm seeing it in Las Vegas now. The thing is, Las Vegas is going to be about 25 to 30 degrees warmer. So my outfit, looking like a damn outlaw, black leather from head to toe with my black cowgirl hat, just wasn't gonna fly. So I had to try something new. I was like, you know what? Let's go with the red, white, and blue, motherfuckers. Here's the thing. I do not feel like sporting America's colors with the state of the world as it is, but I will for Beyonce. I would do anything for that woman. I seriously would. I also was supposed to get my hair done before I was supposed to go, and that's not happening just because of, conflicts. And the thing is hats don't fit my hair. So that is something else that I'm gonna have to figure out. Do I straighten it? My curls are so cute, with my little sparkly sparks. This is gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. So this is what I'm attempting, and I have learned the hard way that I cannot think that these things are gonna look great day of, you know what I mean? So this is why I'm practicing, at least like the makeup. I mean, this is pretty straightforward, but my little sparkly sparks before, so I'm not having a fit the day of when I don't know what I'm doing. So while I'm gonna practice, I just want to talk a little bit about Cowboy Carter and why I bawled my eyes out when she made that announcement during their Super Bowl. Before I get started into that, I want to say that I've always been a Beyonce fan. I became a super fan when I saw that woman perform live during the Formation tour in Pasadena. Her dedication to her craft, like vocals, the imagery, the videos, the dancing, like she's way more fun and she cuts loose and she's laughing and she's making jokes when she performs. And I know that's not her typical like persona. That's why I became a super fan. I became a stan. I willingly signed my life over to the Bayhive, and I have no regrets, okay, about that. I am a musician before I'm anything. And I know I just wrote a book, and I'm gonna start up my talk show. I guess that's what I'm gonna call it. I was calling it like a YouTube series or whatever. I obviously have so much to say, and I'm a natural born storyteller. That's why I write songs. I wrote a book. I'm working on my other one. I have not even been able to touch my screenplays in years just because I have to, definitely zone in on what the current project is. And I want to create a space where I can not only share my stories, but have other people feel comfortable to share theirs. But before any of that, I am a musician. I am a songwriter. I'm a singer. And when she performed, or she made the announcement at the Super Bowl, I had been in Denver for about a year, and they say it takes about a year and a half to get acclimated to a new city. And since I was, one of the main reasons why I was wanting to come here was because I was told that Denver is a very welcoming city for creatives and musicians and writers and everything. So I was like, you know what, Lauren, it's time to get back to music. But this time around, you know what you have to do. And that's what I was apprehensive about. And so she made her announcement, and it was country. Like, I had heard the rumors of her Act 1, 2, and 3, but I didn't believe them because I was like, why would Beyonce do a country album and then go on to do a rock album? Like, I was like, there's no way. She ain't doing all that. So what do I mean about what I have to do this time around? So I lived in LA for 3 years. Okay. Obviously to pursue music. And when I started sharing my songs, I got told that I was a little bit country. And I said, absolutely not. I had just completely ran from my small little town. I moved across the country. I wanted to get away from small town USA, you know? So to be told that was kind of a slap in my face. Now, before I left, my mom told me something that kind of stuck with me, and I didn't know why until I moved to LA, but she told me, she was like, you're never going to get to where you want to get in life until you accept that you're from a small town and a poor family. And I ignored it because, again, I didn't think that it had anything to do with me, because it's like I know these things. So I'm sharing my songs, and they're like, girl, you're a little country. Like, all the songs that you have shared could be country hits. And I was like, no, like, that's not the sound that I'm going for. That's not the market that I can market myself. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And I didn't. And music has not gone my way since. So in my defense, I was doing shows before COVID. I was getting that attention. I've always been told that I will achieve everything I want to achieve with exposure. I need to get out in front of people and things will follow, you know. And so I was doing shows and everything, but I couldn't help that COVID happened and kind of ruined a lot of people's plans. And that was a lesson that I had to learn, that life happened. You know, I had just moved from California back to my small town just because my mom had passed away. And I felt compelled to be closer to my dad in that chapter of my life. I made those sacrifices because, again, I hated my small town. There was nothing there for me. I couldn't achieve all the big dreams that I had in my small town. There's nothing really wrong with being from a small town, but let's be real. Like, I wanted to be a musician. I knew that I had to share my story some way. Like, I was meant to uplift and inspire, and I couldn't do that in Sebring, Florida. I really couldn't. So, yeah, I'm over here. Now, I'm probably gonna, like, be going back and forth. Okay, so we're not gonna do that one there. I feel like a freaking wrestler from the 80s. But anyway, pause our regular programming for a star update. I don't like this one there. It's too symmetrical. She has one by her eyebrow, but I'm going to improvise. It's giving wrestler. It's giving Kesha, which there's nothing wrong with Kesha, but, you know, this is America. This is Beyonce. It's not Kesha. So I'm just going to improvise and see how this goes. But anyway, so here's the thing about me. Pardon my French, but I'm a clusterfuck of a person. I can't say I fit in any aesthetic. I definitely don't fit in any genre of music. I don't fit anywhere. I just kind of float around, and I'm a social butterfly. You know, I'm able to talk with a lot of people. I'm able to, you know, be like that. But as far as like fitting in, no. So the thing about music is you have to fit in. They want you to fit into a certain genre. They want to be able to know who to market you to, right? And that was my problem. So not only did I not want to pitch my songs to the country demographic, and I want to say it's because I didn't think that I could do it anyway. Like, that genre, those people aren't really accepting of outsiders, something new, you know what I mean? It's just, they're not. And so I was just like, no, I'm not. I couldn't even if I tried. And so I didn't. And so I did run into some hiccups. The thing about the music industry, I always say that, like, what hindered me as far as like music has always been because I'm self-funded. So I can only do what I can do in the amount of time that I can do it in. And I am proud of myself because I have learned to not cause myself grief over things I can't control. Like, I'm self-funded. All this falls on me, and so I'll get to it when I get to it. You know what I mean? The thing about pursuing music, though, is that they want to be able to know how to market you, who to market you to. So when someone like me comes along and that's not set in stone and you're starting out, that means that they would have had to market me to a bunch of people, genres, to see where I would stick. And, you know, starting out, no manager's going to do that. I have been told multiple times that I possess all the makings of a superstar. I'm visually appealing. I have enough talent. I have a backstory that people will want to hear and can identify with, or, you know, people love the video cut me off before I was done. Anyway, so people love an underdog, right? And that's exactly what I am. So with all that being said, I attracted my fair share of managers. Attracting management was not my problem. Where the problem continued to arise was how to market me. They want to say that you're the next so-and-so, right? But because I don't look like anyone, I don't sound like anyone, the songs that I was writing wasn't really this package, right? It was hard. Names thrown out there that I was the next Pink. That's a compliment. I love Pink. Janet Jackson, never understood that one. I have her dancing abilities like 10%. I'm a okay dancer, but no, she's a phenomenal performer, dancer. I could never. Vocally, I think I could be up there. The one that was closest was Tracy Chapman. That's an honor. I love Tracy Chapman. And I could see that one, but you know, I'm not Tracy Chapman either. And so what would end up happening is that, you know, I would get dropped by these managers, and it is what it is. So going back to when I came to Denver, this was a fresh new start for me. I knew what I wanted to do here, and that was transition to being a full-time creative, including my writing, including my songwriting, getting out there, whatever. But I knew this time around, it was like, Lauren, if you want music in your life, you know what you have to do. You have to somehow appeal to, oh, my star. Okay, I'm gonna need glue. But anyway, I would have to appeal to a certain demographic that is not gonna welcome me. I'm gonna have to somehow suck it up, because I don't appease myself for no one. I don't shrink myself for no one, but it's just like I had to, you know, keep my ego in check and do this, because it's like, Lauren, if you want music a part of your life, you know what you have to do. Here comes Beyonce announcing that she's doing a country album, and I bawled my eyes out. Not only did I see this as like a massive sign from the universe, because I was literally sitting in my bed with my guitar, watching the Super Bowl, thinking about my plan, thinking about music, and it was like, okay, what are my next steps? What am I gonna do? And then Beyonce announces, and I bawled. I hadn't even heard any of her songs. It wasn't even because of my personal journey through music, but I knew that this was gonna be a love letter to brown women in the South. I'm having a really hard time. I told myself I'd never cry on camera, I'd never cry in a video, and here I am. But it is what it is. I'm having a really hard time with the hatred, with the blatant hatred that has become an ongoing theme right now. Hatred for the other, hatred for something different, hatred for something maybe that you don't agree with, but who asked you? You know what I mean? It bothers me. It's something that is looming in the back of my mind every damn day. And fun fact about me, I finally just realized that I was meant to take up spaces where I wouldn't necessarily be welcomed. I was meant to say the things that other people don't have the cojones to say. I was meant to be that person. I was born to oppose the opposition. You know, I was meant to be that person. And so I was like, fine, this time it's country. But when Cowboy Carter came out, I was like, damn, I loved it. This is probably one of my favorite albums that she has released, just because it was exactly what I thought it was. It was just the sounds of what it would be like to be a brown woman in the South. Here's my thing about country music and different people doing music. If we, and by we, I mean brown people, are from the same places as these other people, we've been there just as long. Is it too far of a leap? Is it too far of a reach to think that we would be influenced by the same things, that we would have the same stories to tell? But because we are different, because we are brown, because we come from different cultures that have influenced us in other ways, that the foundation would be the same. So the foundation being country, that we would make something similar, but different. Something familiar because the foundation is the same, but it has a little bit of funk or a beat or pop elements, or, you know, I'm half Mexican. I am trying to find ways to put Spanish influences into my music. And I have a few ideas, and I'm excited about that. And I think that as people who love music, that they would have been so excited for something different, and that's not the case. Now, this is just my opinion. I think Cowboy Carter won Country Album of the Year, because that's the one that people were shook, right? Like, you can say politics, you can say whatever about Album of the Year for the Grammys, but the shocker was the Country Album of the Year, and that's what sent people in an uproar. But I think, personally, the Grammys awarded her that award because she dared to do something different, because the country genre has not evolved whatsoever. That's a genre that doesn't take risk. I remember, and I'm dating myself with this, when Nelly did a feature with Tim McGraw. I think the song's called Over and Over Again. Oh my gosh, being from where I was, that was an uproar, but it was a hit. I think that's the last time that country dared to do something different. We're not gonna bring up Billy Ray Cyrus and Lil Nas X, because that, I think, was a joke that just took off. But I had just read like a quote somewhere from Luke Bryan where he was saying that he was turning down songs and giving them to other artists because he doesn't want to be seen as country's one-trick pony. And my thing is like, you know how long Luke Bryan has been around? But you know how right he was? It hasn't evolved. There are no risks. Now, here's my thing. As musicians, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you're pursuing music for money and fame and whatever, then yeah, stick to the formula and don't deviate, because you're guaranteed that people are going to like this music, right? Because it hasn't evolved. It hasn't changed. It has a loyal fan base. And I love that about country music and country song listeners, whatever you want to call them. But goddamn, you know what I mean? Change it up a bit. Now, the thing that I love about social media is algorithms, because I have all of a sudden been exposed to Black country artists, Black music groups. Now, I'm a rock girly too, and if I think that I had such a emotional reaction to Beyonce's country album, her rock album, I'm gonna be wilding out. Like, nothing will be said, nothing will be done. I will be in my rock era forever. But anyway, I'm excited. What do we think about this? What do we think? Very American camp. I need to get like lash glue or something. You know what? I'm not gonna straighten my hair. I was gonna straighten my hair, but my curls make the fit. I know I just switched back to, yeah, I'm ADHD, so that is part of my charm. What are we feeling about this? Anyway, I'm gonna stop there. Stay tuned, because I have more to say about my music journey in Cowboy Carter. I'll definitely be posting fit updates. I'm really excited. I got my boots. My shirt may be late, so I might have to think of something else. But thank you for your time. This is a look. Like in the stars, I think it makes the fit.